Okay, folks, for those of you who are watching a little bit earlier, we are back. And as of right now, I've got nobody watching, so I'll give a little bit of time for people to jump on here. So I'll give you a scenario of what was going on, just a little bit of a backstory until others start joining us. As you can see here, I got a bunch of spare parts, I've got tools laid out. This is my 73 Volkswagen Beetle. And we're sitting in the front yard of somebody's house because last night I broke down right down there and couldn't figure out what was going on. Initially thought I was having an issue with a clog in the carburetor. Pulled over, pulled the jet out, cleaned the jet out, went to start the car and it had nothing. So last night I did some diagnosis and determined that I wasn't getting any spark out of the coil. So I went, got a used coil from my house, came back, put it on, the car started one time, or tried to start one time, and that was it. No more spark. So it seemed to be like that coil failed, but probability was not too good on that. So I left the car last night, I came back today to try to start testing all the components. If you don't have one of these in your toolkit, go out and buy one. Test Light, very cheap. You can do so much with this when you're working on a car, especially an old car. Keep one with you, matter of fact. So the one I had in my toolkit last night, apparently the bulb was burned out, so I couldn't test anything. So I came back with a Test Light this morning. So here's what we did. I went and I checked the points. Checked the points. I checked the condenser. Both of those were brand new, I just put in. The distributor cap was brand new. The plug wire is brand new. The plugs are all brand new. So everything in the ignition system, well, other than the distributor itself and the coil, all the wear and tear parts were brand new. Made in China stuff, 100% I'm sure. Of course, we know how that goes nowadays. Anyway, so I'm in here testing everything, and I get to the point of testing for spark, and it looks like we have spark. So I noticed these brand new Chinese points when I look. There's a little lobe that runs on the cam inside the distributor. And I looked and they just weren't sitting right. It's like they're not made correctly. I did have a good used set of original Bosch points in my toolbox over here in this little pack. So I decided to swap those out. Also, the other thing I noticed too, I noticed this when I was originally doing the tune-up on this car. So this cap on here is a good Bosch cap, an old one that I had. This is the brand new cap that I got. Now, if you look inside, the connections for the wires are way down inside this cap. This cap here, the connections for the wires are pretty close to the top. So here is the actual original coil wire off this car. I saved it because it's a good wire and sometimes you may need one. But if you notice, when you go to push this into the cap, you've got to go pretty far down in there in order for it to make contact with the metal. These wires here, they're longer. Well, I should say you can move these boots to make them longer. The wires that are on here now, they don't have that same affordability. They're pretty tightly molded. So I decided to swap out the cap to make sure we have the best contact possible. So everything's tested, everything's hooked back up. Oh, Annabelle Lopez, hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. We're gonna see if she starts. So you guys, here we go. Get ready. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. She's purring like a kitten. Wow. So in reality, it seems like it was probably an issue with those points, possibly the cap as well. But we've got it switched out. She's back on the road. This is awesome. It's been a long time since I've been stranded in one of these cars where I couldn't get it running. I try, anytime I get something new, and I haven't had this car this long. Jordan, hi, thanks for joining us. I haven't had this car for very long, and this was the first trip I took it on yesterday after I did a tune-up. And again, mentioning, unfortunately nowadays we have a lot of poor quality parts, and I think that is exactly what happened here. So we've got a substandard cap and points. Probably the condenser is no good as well. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, try to order some quality parts for this thing. But we're running. Hey, Davey and Daniel. Beetles is 73, and I just swapped out the brand new points for a set of used ones and the distributor cap, and we are up and running again. So we are good to go. Get back on the road. I'm sitting here in somebody's yard. They let me roll the bug from the hill up there down here in the shade so I could work on it. But unfortunately I had to go home and get parts, and I'm here solo. So I'm gonna have to get a ride back here so I can take it home. But I'm glad that we're up and running again. And the PSA to all you guys out there, if you work on your own cars, buy the best quality parts that you can get. There's so much garbage out there. It's really frustrating. And if any of you are subscribed to my channel, if you've watched any of my videos, the whole reason why I started this channel was reviewing parts. And specifically, I was restoring a 69 VW Beetle, and I was running into problem after problem with brand new parts, and I was frustrated. And I didn't want anybody else to go through the same frustration that I was going through, so I decided to start making videos. So that's 5 years ago. We just celebrated 5-year anniversary on the channel. We're not monetized. I don't make anything off this. There's no sponsors. It's just a guy being honest with his reviews. So I did get these ignition parts, the distributor parts, I should say, from J-Bugs. So I'm gonna have to contact them and let them know about the poor quality on that, and we're gonna have to go from there. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. I gotta pick up all this stuff, put it in my other vehicle, and then see about getting a ride back so I can get her home. This Beetle's name is Faith. She's a 73 standard Beetle. Pretty decent looking car. She needs some work. I bought her last year, and I've been doing work to her, trying to get her mechanically sound first, and then we're going to do some interior work. And this is another poor quality part. I did a video on this. None of the clips up here fit. These are empty door panels. Do not buy them. Terrible. Yep, thanks. I know. Thanks, Daniel. I'm glad I'm back on the road too. It's frustrating when you have to deal with a breakdown. I have not been stranded with an old Beetle where I could not get it back on the road in probably decades. I've been doing this since the 1980s, so got a few years on me. But anyways, I'll let you guys go. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll probably give you another update later today.